Coach, first question for you. How reassuring is it to have 8 starters back from a defensive unit that ranked among the national leaders in several categories last year?
Yeah, we've been blessed with a lot of exciting moments the last few years, and many things go into that. The most important being is you have to have great players. And over the last 3 years, 2 guys that have been really the face of our program is Jack Jolly, who's sitting next to me, and Ben Bladel. So Jack, I'm sure I'll get to talk about in a minute, but I do want to highlight Ben. I love Division III football. Ben Bladel is one of the best players I'll ever get to watch play Division III football. We are very fortunate to have him. Obviously, what he's done on the field, everyone sees, and to see how he's grown in relationships. Most importantly, the journey he's gone on with his faith. To have these 2 men, Jack and Ben, and then next to them, Caleb Brubaker, who's also been an All-American over his time here. I mean, these 3 senior linebackers with Jordan Karcheski returning in front of them and 4 returning defensive backs behind them, you know, a top 10 defense in the country and multiple statistics, this is the heartbeat of our team, and it's very reassuring having all these guys back.
Graduation claimed 9 offensive starters from the 2024 season. Who are you looking to as players who can move into prominent roles this year?
Yeah, key word for us in football and life is paradox. I learned this from a man named James Stockdale. He said, you have to live in this paradox, and that's confront the brutal facts of your present reality while retaining faith that you will prevail in the end. And we've had to confront brutal facts. I mean, when you lose multiple linemen, your quarterback, your running back, and your top receiver, there's a brutal reality there that you got to face head on. And at the same time, retain faith. I mean, in our national playoff game, 3 of the linemen on the field, Luke Jolly, Bobby Benton, and Nate Trainer, they're all back. So obviously we're going to look to those 3. Anthony Burnett at fullbacks, one of the best fullbacks we've had in this system. So to have him back is vital. And then Ian DeMary is one of the 2 running backs that split carries last year. He's back as well. And then a big thing for us to retain faith between our returning receivers and then a few transfers. In my 10 years, this is the most speed we've had at wide receiver that I've had to this point. So now we add that to the mix, and we saw this spring we certainly have the guys at quarterback to get them the ball. So those are some of the guys to highlight, and we just have to live in that paradox offensively.
You mentioned him earlier, so now's your chance. What does Jack Jolly mean to the program both on and off the field?
Yeah, a good lead-in to talk about Jack is to highlight someone else in this room who's been talked about, and that is Gino DeMarco. Amongst everything about Gino, the thing that I admire most is that Gino is an ambassador for Christ. And last week we were on the phone for 45 minutes, and I left that call, and I even told my wife, it was just a reminder of a man who's an example of using the game of football as a metaphor to teach people about how to grow in a relationship with Jesus Christ. And you're a model for me in that, Gino, and I thank you for that. And that man that we loved, Gino and I, and a lot of us, everybody, hopefully sees that he's the most important person who's ever walked this earth. And he was asked a vital question. He was asked, Jesus, what's the most important command in the Bible? And he said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. So that's why our vision has those 4 parts: glorify God, earn a degree, build relationships, compete for PAC and national championships, heart, soul, mind, and strength. There is not a better model you can find of that than Jack Jolly. Physically, he's been our Mike backer calling the defense during the best run in school history. Academically, unbelievable student, great internship. Socially, the only 2-year captain I've had in my 10 years here, unanimously voted by every single one of his peers this spring to be our captain. And this spring after practice, when I was sharing a lesson about Christ and faith in Christ, relating it to football, I had Jack come up to be the one I used as the model to explain that, which just shows the example he is of walking with the Lord. They don't make them better than Jack Jolly.
Prior to your rugged 8-game conference schedule, Grove City will visit 2023 national champion Cortland and then host perennial national power Mount Union, last year's Division III runner-up. How did that non-conference schedule develop?
I share 2016, we put our vision in place, which ends with compete for PAC championships. And for 7 years, I've told the staff I don't care about Division I teams. I don't care about Division II. I don't care about anyone else in the country. The only thing that drives decisions in this program are the 10 teams in the PAC, and that is it. And then, yes, in 2023, we got to beat a great team, number 9 in the country in the national playoffs, and then we lost to the national champions by 1 on the last play of the game. And after that, because of that experience, we said we will include those experiences in how we evaluate what we're going to do for the upcoming season. Vision's everything to us. One of the challenges that is that we have a lot of data from PAC games, but we only have 3 games against top 10 opponents in the country that we can look at. And I don't make the decisions for this program. The Vision makes decisions for this program. So if you say compete for PAC and national championships after 2023, when we got the call of you have 2 non-conference games, that Vision decides who we play. I don't. And what's beautiful is a little over a month from now, we will now have 5 games to evaluate of what it looks like to play top 10 opponents in the country. So really our vision statement drove how this whole schedule came to be.
Last question. What are the keys for the Wolverines this season to compete for a 3rd straight conference title and a return to postseason play?
Yeah, if you sit in one of our offensive meetings, you're going to hear me talk a lot about our offensive vision. And then if you go sit in our defensive meeting, our defensive coordinator will share exactly the same thing from the other side's vantage point. Our defensive coordinator played for me and coached on offense, and then we moved him to defense. So you're going to hear the same thing. And then on special teams, our special teams coordinator coached offense, coached defense, and now he's our special teams coordinator. And in his vision, one of the first things he talks about is speak the same offense and defensive language. We have to be one of the best in the country at complementary football. And that's not just words and everything we talk about. There's metrics to go with it. We got a plaque from the NCAA to be the statistical champion and what I believe is the most important statistic that represents complementary football. For everything we want to do as a program, our best chance to do that and what we need most this season is everything that goes into that complementary football statistic is what we need to be the foundation for how we build this year.
Thank you, Coach. Now it's Jack's turn for a few questions. Jack, Coach touched on you being a team co-captain for another year. How has your approach for this season been different than it was for your junior season?
Yeah, I was very fortunate to be a leader of the team last year and to be able to learn from the leaders before me. All throughout high school and throughout college, I've had tremendous opportunities to learn, even from coaches like Coach DiDonato sitting next to me, to be in the position where I'm at. And I'm fortunate enough to say that I know exactly who I am as a leader and who I aim to become each day as a leader. And what Coach can expect of me this year is another level of intentionality in living in vision. How can I show our team what it truly means to live in vision and not in circumstance? Coach does a fantastic job day in and day out showing us the power of our vision. It brought us from 0-33 to 10-0. I don't care who you are. That's a powerful, powerful thing. And we're not going to be abandoning that anytime soon. So how can I come into each day to football practice, the film room, the weight room, and say, how am I going to be anchored in my identity and who I am? Expand that with intentionality each day at practice. How am I going to grow deeper in vision? Vision isn't static. It's something that we are truly growing to be better at each and every day intentionally. And then by the time game time rolls around, we're activating that by faith. We've already done all these things. We've already lived in vision. Let's activate that and have a great game day.
Jack, Grove City's opponents will have to deal with a jolly on each side of the football again this season as your brother Luke is returning starter and all PAC selection at offensive tackle. What has it been like to continue your football career with him over the last 3 seasons?
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing with Luke since I've been in midget football. I'm sure a lot of you guys have played midget football, so I've been playing with him for close to 10 years now. And to watch him develop has been truly special. I mean, he started in high school, but he is nowhere near the player he is now when he was in high school. So to see him develop as a person as well as a football player, it's been truly special. He's been my roommate for the past 3 years, and to be able to share those special bonds throughout college, it's been very special. So to share the field with him one last time, it's going to be super exciting.
Coach talked a little bit about the linebacking core that you're a part of, and you enter, and as your program enters 2025 with one of the most experienced and decorated linebacking cores in Division III, with you, Ben, and Caleb Brubaker all back as starters. What's it like playing in between those two men?
It's incredible, to be honest with you. I've been playing alongside Ben, starting with him for 2 years, and Caleb for 1 year. And, I mean, Coach already touched on Ben. He's one of the freakiest athletes I've ever played with in my entire life. And he's just an incredible football player, along with an incredible friend of mine. So to share the field with him one last time is going to be awesome. And then Caleb coming in last year, I quickly became really good friends with him. And to take what he took from safety coming down the linebacker, it's truly helped me in my pass coverage, as well as I'm able to help him out in the run game. So what Coach was touching on earlier, playing complementary football, Ben teaches me a little bit, I teach Ben a little bit, Caleb teaches me, I teach Caleb a little bit. So to share the field with them one time, we're ready to wreak havoc.
Last question, simple. What goals, if any, do you have for the 2025 season?
It's pretty simple. First and foremost, to win a PAC championship. Second, to win a national championship. And then to truly make an impact on the younger guys on our team's lives, because ultimately, seniors for us, it's our last year. So how are you going to impact those younger guys who will be sitting in the same positions as you next year? How are you going to truly leave your impact not just on the field, but off the field, to bring those new freshmen that are coming on up? How can you lift them up throughout everything that you do? So I make it my goal this year to truly build relations with those kids who will be sitting in my seats next year and for years to come.
Thank you, Jack, and thanks again to Coach DiDonato. As mentioned previously, the Wolverines open the season September 6th with a road trip to the 2023 Division III National Champion Cortland, and the PAC slate starts September 27th with a home night game against W&J. Thank you again, Grove City.